to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
Doesn't it? But it piles some up and stacks them.
Yeah.
And then you get like one that's like so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so all posted some shit.
Yeah, unless it's something that Venus is sending directly to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she'll be like, oh, Dragon posted this picture of Bradley and Mike putting Legos together. And I went, oh, that's cool. And then like 3 days go by and I get like a notification for something else. I'm in Instagram and like, bing, top of the feed. I see a picture that she was talking about. Like, well, this happened fucking days ago. What do you mean? Why am I just getting this now? Why didn't I get it when it happened? I don't need that.
Is there some amount of time that you haven't used the app that happens where like if you haven't used it in a week, they're just gonna like not send
Impossible. My wife and Mike and a number of other people.
No, for you personally though.
Right, but they send me shit and I have to look at shit every day. every day.
Gross. I wouldn't want to look at shit every day.
Look at this shit. Fuck you, man.
There's
you sent me a giant damn turd video.
There's peanuts in it. And that is loose.
It doesn't count just because you sent it an iMessage.
Right.
You're like, look at this. And I know, damn, it hasn't been turned on in months, or what was it, years? Months.
What hasn't?
The damn gate hadn't been opened in months, or whatever it was.
Oh, that from today?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a poop video, too.
Oh, for sure. Well, it was...
I mean, I know exactly.
It's mud, for sure.
I heard, like, I'm like, oh, it's coming.
The big turd plug.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, that looks like clay. That looks straight up like compressed.
Yeah.
Oh, and then, ga-da!
Now, I will say this. One time I was cleaning my gutters
for
out in the back of the house.
Yeah.
And I was up top and it was full of water, and I would like scoop all the leaves out, and water wasn't draining.
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck? So then I've got the hose, and I'm jamming the hose down there, and no water's coming out the bottom.
Yeah.
So I get down off the roof, and then I'm like, fuck, what the hell? And I'm like at the bottom of the downspout.
Right.
No water. So then I took the hose and started running it up until it bumped into some shit.
Yeah.
And I just ran some water a little bit.
Yeah.
And I heard, and I pulled the hose back out. And I mean, I'm not joking. It shot a rectangular turd out of there that was probably about 8 or 9 inches long. And it literally shot out of the bottom of that thing and landed about 3 feet into the rocks away from the house in a big rectangular shaped turd. Mud turd. And I fucking died laughing because it was hilarious. But it made sound like it was like,
oh, here it comes.
Same sort of thing.
Vacuum is...
Yeah. But it shot out of there like someone had pressure on their bowels. You know what I mean?
It makes sense.
Yeah, it was funny.
The amount of like downspout and what is it?
Yeah. It's like probably 12 feet up there.
Per foot?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
It's, gravity.
It's something. There's some equation.
So, yeah, I thought that was hilarious. And then I thought back to my own experience with square turds shooting out of stuff. And I had to have a chuckle. I've never seen a square turd come out of my butt.
Of late, Jax, every once in a while, he's got like this like rumbly tumble. Anyway, long story short.
What are you feeding your dog?
Like he has taken it upon himself to apparently figure out how the pressure pedal garbage cans work.
Oh.
So now we have to keep...
Interesting.
So there was like a week or 2 weeks back.
Put a combination lock on.
Yeah, where he was just like upset stomach, and he'd like be just drooling randomly out of nowhere. I was like, "What'd you get into?
Yeah.
Like, what'd you get into?"
Now the real mystery would be as if he opened them, ate some shit out of there, then closed them.
That's how it's working.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
So he's learned to close it too?
Well, they auto close.
Oh, it auto closes.
So he in the office, he has figured out that if he steps on the pedal, it opens up, and it opens up enough for him to get his nose in there.
To gobble some stuff.
Who knows at this point the countless amount of tissues or cleaning wipes that I've put in there that he has nuzzled out. The other day, we have like a rubber band on the kitchen one.
Yeah.
But because I'm going to say most of everyone in the house, we're all fucking lazy. So when we've got something that's like an apple core or something palm size baseball or smaller, people just like hot press the button and just stretch the rubber band, and then you quick stuff your trash in there.
Because it's stuff like that makes putting trash in the garbage can a pain in the ass.
Absolutely.
Right? You don't want to be hindered to put your garbage in. You just want to put the garbage in the trash.
So it's like, well, if I just extra press it, the lid opens up for me to get my stuff in. So that has become problematic in two ways. Sure. One, no one is always clearing an edge. So what that does is that puts a food scent on the rim of the fucking garbage that he'll come over and like lick the side of the garbage can. Well, that's a problem. But what it has done also is stretch the shit like blown out like
the band.
A hot dog in a hallway kind of thing. The band.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even have to step on the pedal in the kitchen garbage. He just takes his nose and just lifts up.
Oh, it's not a sensor, it's a pedal?
Yeah, and he can lift the lid up enough because that there's no hinge or spring or there's no resistance on the lid.
Sure.
Because the rubber band is blown out. So he just noses up, and because we tend to overfill the kitchen garbage, like, I don't want to take the garbage out. So someone like puts something on top of it and maybe like presses it down, and then the next idiot who doesn't want to go out and do the garbage puts something else on top, and that smells good. And
it decompresses slightly.
And then it comes up. So he's... But man, we had been like, what is he getting into? Like, I don't run... But now it was Piper had caught him in the office.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't gone more than a minute and a half out of the office. I walked down the hall. He was passed out on his bed. Piper came out of the office. I passed her in the hallway. I'm down into the kitchen. She's at the laundry room, like moving laundry from one to the other. And I hear, "No! What are you doing? No! Get out of there!" The time it took me really to get down the hallway and then her do a washer to dryer transition, he had gotten up. Well, fucking no one's in here anymore. Guess I'm just going to go over to the buffet and see what's up.
The buffet.
Fucker. And I'm like, what? What is he doing? It's like, he's getting sick? And she's like, his head was in your garbage can. What the
Yeah.
It's been a good 3. So now what has happened is we have like a 5-pound weight on the kitchen garbage because rubber band.
So you get a workout before you put your trash.
So if you want to put something away in the garbage in the kitchen, you have to lift the weight and put it in there like a normal person would, and then put the weight back on it, or he will.
You know what you need?
Get there.
Is a trash compactor. Because it eliminates a couple of problems. First of all, it's a drawer thing. So when you want to throw your trash away, you got to like pull the drawer out, right?
Yeah.
Throw it in there. And then it closes.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing. He won't be able to get that open.
No.
Right? The other thing that it eliminates is the need to go to the trash as often as apparently you already are.
It's good that you were. I've had one before.
Yeah.
When in high school, the house my dad's lived in got renovated to a degree and some new appliances. One of the things that my mom sprung for was a garbage compactor. We are country fucking bumpkins up there, so having a garbage compactor was like, whoa, this is awesome. We were already like Pavlovian pattern to the garbage is full, you take the garbage out to the truck. Garbage is full, take the garbage out to the truck. So having this trash compactor was like, we are
highbrow now.
Sophisticated.
Hey, Muffin.
Well, just put the garbage in the garbage compactor. It was fine, and we kept up with it. Oh, the garbage is full. Compactor, take it to the truck. What ended up happening was exactly as happened in my home as it did. Eventually, it was, well, if I put it in the garbage compactor and I press the button, regardless of how full it is, if I press the button and it's going, I'm done. So fuck it. And
Yeah.
so it would get overfilled and people would just walk away and be like, well, I pressed the button, and it
It goes, because they can't compact it anymore.
It can't go any further. So then it's like, well, who's the one that gets the then
Well, the other negative is by the time they get to
now it's dense.
It's dense and heavy as shit.
Yeah, now it was like my dad eventually was like, we're not I think it broke.
Oh.
And so then it was just like a
manual
hamper,
shelf.
a manager.
But see, even in that action, that would help the dog not get into the trash. You know?
It would.
Yeah.
But it would.
I mean, it wouldn't have to be a compactor. I guess you could just have like a trash can that like rolls out of the cabinet.
Yeah, that would work too.
That would keep them out.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Welcome to Sad Dad's Club Podcast, episode 270. I'm the Lord Fu.
And I'm Jim. Man.
Anyway.
Yeah?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. We had a funny story, speaking of the dogs. Chandler and Nicole they have 2 dogs now. Did you hear this?
Yes.
Okay. So I've
seen the pictures.
They took the dogs to Home Depot, and one of them I call 626 from the movie Lilo and Stitch, 626.
Right.
Because she looks like 626. She looks like Stitch.
Yeah.
But also her behavior is just wild.
Oh, okay.
And so they took her. They took both the dogs, and I think she was holding on to 626. And she was doing something and wasn't paying enough attention. And 626 took a shit right on the middle of the floor, right at the exit.
Oh.
And it wasn't a solid one, apparently.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, that's terrible. Either it was at the exit or it was like right where you come in. It's customer service. I'm not sure which one. But either way, that's terrible.
As someone that doesn't take dogs anywhere, are there stores that are like dog friendly like
Home
that?
Depot
Is dog friendly?
Yeah.
Do you just take your dog in?
Yeah, we've taken Max there many times.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
He actually seems to kind of like it sometimes. It's weird. I don't know. He sort of enjoys going to Home Depot.
Is that like posted anywhere? Like, how do you know? Like, do you ask first and then you start taking your pet there?
I think we looked it up on their website or something.
Is Walmart that way?
Now, if it's a grocery place like Walmart or
Yeah.
like Safeway, I won't take the dog in.
A
lot of people do.
Yes.
We see a lot of dogs at Walmart.
Yeah.
And sometimes even at Safeway. And
there was some lady on Sunday with like her little white Shih Tzu.
Yeah.
She appeared to have it had no service vest on. So
right.
So there, right? So and she's wandering around with her partner, like with a shopping cart, and we're in the bread aisle, and Shih Tzu is straight up on the bottom, like sniffing and nibbling at loaves of bread. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And Venus is like,
oh yeah,
like what the fuck is your dog doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm okay, service dog, obviously, and if it's allowed, well then we're just dicks. But this dog was also like nosing into products.
Right.
Like, no. Okay, that's a bit too far.
We noticed at Costco there's a sign outside that says no dogs unless it's a service animal. There's actual posted
that
sign.
Makes sense. Yeah, I can see.
And then the other day we were in there and someone had their fucking dog in there, and I'm like, how is that? It's posted right out front. And how would they get past the people at the front checking your card if you have a dog that you would think they'd be like, you can't bring the dog in here? Because it's the thing of it is they're making food. It's like,
right.
Yeah, there's like whatever the health
yes
implications are,
right.
And so it's not, if it was just like Home Depot, there's not like they're preparing food anywhere in there.
Right.
That's not a big deal. But like somewhere like Walmart or Costco or Safeway that has delis and shit.
Right.
No.
That's no,
that's a big
unless
no-no.
it's a service animal, then I get it. But
Right.
they're also trained to not
Right.
leave a
A mark.
a yogurt puddle.
Yeah. Or pee on stuff.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different. But yeah, that sort of gets me a little bit when I see people with their dogs like in the cart or and they're at a grocery store. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with your dog here? And why hasn't anyone said anything to them?
Right.
It's not my place as a customer, but like as an employee of the facility, I would think that would be important.
Right. Listen,
But-
we've got food here.
Yeah.
Do you have something indicating, like, we need you to put the thing on the dog to indicate that
First of all, it's not a service animal if you're pushing it around in the cart or if it's in a bag.
Right.
Or a
right.
backpack
and
or some
what gets
shit.
sticky of that is, too, like, does it have to have the service animal thing if it's, what do they call it? Therapy. Like it's a therapy.
Like a therapy dog?
Yeah.
I mean, emotional therapy
Yes, one of those.
dog?
I thought that was one of those loopholes. And
I
to
don't
me,
think it
that's
is.
still one of those, like, everyone's got their things, and I
Right.
get that. But your pet, your little Jimmy, and his bangled fucking necklace or whatever, chilling out in your tote or your purse, like, I'm not buying it. I'm
Right.
sorry. I'm
Yeah.
not buying it. If it was that important, you would have a service vest on the dog. Like,
I don't know. I just don't. I think a lot of people just think the rules don't apply to them, and that's part of the problem.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then it's like, well, it just.
Yeah.
It's like, well, how much do you want to get into someone's shit over a dog that may behave?
Well,
and
that's
it's
just
like,
the
well,
thing. I don't want to be the guy
I
like
don't want
fucking
to have to go and
grilling
tattle.
some asshole at the fucking Walmart because they've got a dog there. That's not my
Right.
That's me to be like, what a fucking asshole.
Right.
It's not for me to go up to them and say shit to them.
Right. Yeah.
So if they want to be an asshole, that's on them. But I'm not. It's not my place.
Right. I would appreciate if the rules were applied to everyone equally.
Yeah.
And
There's been a lot of times where we have the dog with us, then we're like, oh, we can't go there. We need to take him home because we're going there.
to some place that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Home Depot, Lowe's, or something like that.
That's cool.
They specifically say on their, animals are welcome. And all the staff are like, oh, the dog. They always seem to love seeing the dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
So whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
So the 626 took a
A loose deuce.
loose deuce. Well, that's got to be awkward. You're like, do you have any cleaning supplies here? And they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can go buy some.
We got a whole row of
Yeah,
them.
you want to hit aisle 17,
Yeah.
and we got buckets,
Yeah.
mops. Hey,
And she said it was horrifying because there was like some other dude there with his wife, and he was just like watching. And then when she was scrambling to clean it up, she said she heard him say to his wife, "Oh, that's the dog right there that pooped all over the place." So it didn't go unnoticed,
yeah.
You're
You're like, yeah, but this one time
Yeah.
while I was getting gas in Oregon and I lifted up the tailgate.
I mean, it wasn't dog shit, but it was.
So see,
It
it's
kind of
not
was.
so bad.
It kind of was dog
It's
shit.
not so bad. Someone get out here and help me.
God damn. You're never gonna let me forget it, are you?
Yeah. Well, she's more embarrassed. That's not shit.
That's
See?
true.
It's positive.
Oh gosh, I just still feel to this day the judgment of all the eyes on my back as I'm picking up hundreds of hangers off the ground. Like, look at this fucking idiot. Jesus.
It's like, I get that way with Jax. Like, he's only less than a year into like getting nightly walks. And it's not any. That's not true. Some dogs he has passed or been on the other side of the street with, and he'll like be very interested, but it's like, hold it. And other dogs, there's like a big fluffy white dog and like a golden lab that like on occasion are also on like a 9 to 9:30 cycle, and he goes absolutely apeshit, like
so like trying to intimidate the other dog, or
like wants to go to it.
Oh, so he's excited to see them.
Yes.
Okay.
And now is that going to turn into, a super happy, fun asshole sniffing like event, or is it going to turn
aggression
into I would like to take your throat out?
Yeah.
And this is how I need to get to you to do this.
That's always the gamble,
right,
with the dogs.
So it's always just like me wrestle and like, oh yeah, and
then they're like getting bound up with their leashes and shit.
Oh,
they're
no.
like getting twisted around.
We are frequently like dog over there and other side of the street.
Okay.
So
are you the guy that where if someone says, "Can they meet?" and you're always like, "Not tonight, pal."
Yes, yeah, never.
Okay.
And most times because we're on the other side of the streets, there's no.
It's not even a question.
It's not even like approach.
Okay.
It's like no, and we're generally like the one story that we told I told months ago about the gentleman that lives down here that had also lost a boxer. He had zero fucks about that guy. Like he would, but he didn't ask. He also didn't ask to pet him or anything like that. But we stood there and had a conversation while Jax was just kind of like, "What else are we gonna do? Like, I'd like to piss on some stuff." And so he was ignorant of the dude.
Yeah.
But other people, 50-50. Whether or not he wants to go and hang out and tear a throat or just
or who knows what,
lick anus. There is, oh man, what was the name of the dog? Was it Buster? Chopper. There is someone with a max size, maybe a little bit bigger.
Okay.
But a toy dog. On occasion lives over between us and Silverado. And Jax is kind of like, well, I'm interested, but he doesn't get all excited and make jowl noises or bark. But the other dog, the little dog, Chopper, and I'm like, okay, because I remember it because it's from Stand By Me, Chopper, sick balls. But it's this tiny little. There is 50 dogs of fury in this little dog's like, and this lady's like, it's a tiny dog, so she's having no problem just dragging it,
right?
Like no, and I'm like, I know the feeling of the embarrassment that this lady has because Chopper wants to go. Chopper wants to.
It doesn't matter size or anything.
And Jax is just kind of like, but he could pass one of those lab-sized dogs. And it's like, I want to go. I'm going to do something with that dog over there.
Right.
And it's like off the chain. He is just like a crack whore on a 2-day bender and now needs a hit. It's crazy how it's like,
I'll tell you what I'm happy for.
What's that?
Is that as humans that I don't have to sniff somebody's asshole to get to know them.
Oh.
Right. Or their fucking dick or whatever, you know what I mean?
I just saw some Key and Peele skit, and it was, what if people's names were farts? And so it's these two couples at like a dinner party, and they're like, well, hey, man, I haven't seen you in such a long time. This is my wife.
Oh, gosh.
And it's like a good 2 minutes or so. But it's funny, like, oh, did you meet at the... And I'm like,
oh, chunky.
Say that name again? Like, that's not going to come out right.
Yeah, just the way dogs sniff each other's butts and dicks and cooters.
Can you imagine? You're like, meeting people at a concert,
nice
and you're like,
just
like, just here, zip. Oh, fuck, yeah, we met.
I smelled you down at the. You were at Safeway.
Man, that was a Soul Asylum concert, right? You're like, yes, Spin Doctors. Yeah,
remember that?
Yeah,
that was a good show.
And then a month later, we met. What was his name? The one with the at Cake. Yeah.
That's funny.
Could you imagine?
No,
that would be terrible.
Well, and when I walk Max around, it's his main goal, and I want him to be able to do it, even though it's fucking frustrating to walk that slow and wait around for him.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole point of going for a walk is to take him for a walk. I've said this before, right?
Right.
And I always want to know, like, what the fuck? I mean, I know he's smelling other dogs, but what is he getting out of that sentence? Like some digital encoded message out of it? You know what I mean? Like
yes.
Oh,
like,
they live over there.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yes. Yes. Genus, species, address, social security. Interesting. Prefers Pekingese. I would not have guessed that from a lab.
And then every once in a while he's sniffing. And he gets so enthralled, he'll start licking at it.
Oh.
And I'm like, no, I got to draw the line there,
it's
bro.
Too much. It's just too much.
Get the tongue out of put it back in your mouth, dude.
Every once in a while, does he do like a hard dart out of nowhere to sniff something?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jax will, like, nope, plowing the field to get to that bush right there out of, like, nowhere. He'll...
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. When you get closer to the house.
Yeah.
Well, this may be predicated on how we walk. So when we walk, as soon as we leave the house, Jax is like pulling at a positive resistance. So he pulls. It's a bit much, certainly for Venus and Piper. I just keep my arm like tense.
Yeah.
And at 90, and it's no big deal. I'm like used to it. But he is pulling.
Right.
But as we make like the last 3 minutes of the walk,
he knows he's getting close to home.
he goes into
we're
and it's
done.
Like casual mode. Like the leash is no longer in a tense pull. He's like, Michael, fucking we could walk like this the whole way, buddy.
Yeah.
But once we make like that last turn right here at the corner,
the realization sets in.
The leash is loose.
Yeah.
He's no longer pulling. It's just kind of like, well, guess we're at the end. So we're gonna make
this last. He doesn't typically pull.
Yeah.
Unless he's excited for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
He has like sort of weird moods when he's on his walk. So sometimes he's a different kind of guy. I just have to say that. So I have seen that behavior, but I haven't seen it in a while. But he will pull when he knows he's excited to get to somewhere to pee on it.
Oh, okay.
But also I realize that the pull is just because his wannabe walk rate is much faster than I will walk.
Oh.
So it's almost like he's annoyed because he wants to go faster than me.
Oh.
And I'll try to keep up as fast as I could probably, if I'm like want to fucking half jog my way around. But so he'll like pull and then realize, I'm pulling for no reason, and then he'll go to his next speed down.
Yeah.
And now that's too slow.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no in between where his pace matches my pace.
Yeah.
Like the gears are
right.
His gear set is not in the middle there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's usually when I see the pulling and the not pulling is him backing off or not. But then also he has these moods he goes through where if he gets scared or something, then he'll like be cautious walking. And then he'll walk a little slower. Or if he's like just having a great old happy walk for the whole time,
Yeah.
the tail's up and he's just trotting along and he's happy as a clam, and there'll be tugging here and there, but that's in between the sniffing and me waiting for him.
Right.
So there's just like a whole bunch of different things that happen in the walk.
Yeah.
That I don't see that normally.
Do you gather that he knows, regardless of his pace, when the end is near?
Oh, he knows.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He knows where to cross the street. He's like,
Yeah.
we get here and we cross the street and we're home, and then we
Right.
go in the garage. He knows.
There was a couple when I'm talking about like Jack's probably getting into something like last week, week before. He's randomly drooling out of nowhere and like trying to like soothe by licking or something. We end up going to bed, and he's like at the edge of the bed, and I can hear, and I'm like, oh, and he's like continuously licking. I'm like, I can't sleep.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you've got something going on, and he didn't poop on the walk, I put my shoes on, and I'm like, we're just gonna go for another walk until you at least poop. If something's gonna come out and I need to tug on it because, and that's what's holding up the show here, then we're gonna do that. In fact, there was a couple workouts at like midnight last week, and I was wondering if I was gonna hear about it from you. Like, what the fuck are you doing at midnight?
Oh,
walking?
no, I didn't notice that.
Anyway.
Okay.
So the first time the first instance of that, like a week and a half ago, I walk like half the loop and he still hadn't pooped. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to try and speed this up. So I start like
jogging,
like
or something?
walking and speeding up and getting into his ass. So I'm lightening the slack.
Right. So he's not tugging anymore.
Right. So then he kind of like looks back and he starts to trot.
Speed up.
And I'm like, okay, bitch, here we go.
Yeah.
And we got a good, like a block, a side of a block at a jog.
Yeah.
And then we got right down here. So we came jogging down Country Club.
Yeah.
And we got to the stop sign here, and he walked into the grass, and he didn't, and there was nothing to pull,
Right.
but he then shit again, and he stopped drooling. And I went,
Oh, that's
okay, so
interesting.
upside stomach or whatever. We got back to the house. He passed out. Whatever the second instance was, when I left the house, I'm like, no, we're running. We're going to fucking run this one. So I put on the shoes. I put on light stuff to run. And we just take off the normal route, but we're jogging. And I'm like, no, we're going to work the whole thing through this. We jog and we go through the stop sign here. We go all the way out to Pleasant Grove. And I can tell, and we're jogging, and now he's like looking at the edges.
There's a spot. Where's the spot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But they've like all the stuff along Pleasant Grove is like ivy shrubbery,
Yeah.
not grass. So there's nowhere for him to like, or it's like beat down hard pressed dirt.
Yeah.
So he's not finding a place to shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
These are unsatisfactory.
yes.
Yeah.
You can see he's like pulling off in like the run, like, and as someone that can see his dog's asshole and has pulled things from his dog's asshole, I'm like, oh, we're peeking, gay.
It's puckering.
Here come, and you can see like as he starts to slow down, like the bucking of the hips, like the. I'm like, who's got a shit now, buddy? And I'm like, well, I know that the gated community has like a small island between the gates with grass. He did not make it there.
Oh.
He's some like ornamental garlic thing. He was like close enough.
Yeah.
And he shit into this thing that was like probably not Home Depot puddle mess. But it was just like,
Oh.
and I went, well, there's no way for me to pull this one up out of here, because it was, it's like trying to shit into the top of a palm tree. It's like you're not getting that. I'm not going in there to get that. But then he was like, he wasn't drooling anymore,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, I'm only kind of eyeballing the shit to see if there was something in there, but we good. And then he went back to trying to sniff everything,
Oh,
and
that's
everything
hilarious.
was fine. We got back to the house. No gurgly stomach. He was fine. And subsequently days later, we catch, or Piper does, and Venus, and that he's getting into the can still. And it was like, okay. Like I have to make sure I'm holding my eyeglass wipe in my pocket and not leaving stuff on my desk is probably no longer the thing. It is that he is now going into the trash cans.
I mean, when you get it out, though, you can just wash it and you reuse it.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
We made a joke last night. I'm like, he's probably losing weight because he's got 2 socks, 1 thong, a pair of panties, one running sock, and 2 polyester eyeglass cleaning cloths that are consuming
Fatburgering their way through.
consuming like 40% of his stomach size, because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's an idiot. Anyway.
Now, speaking of that, it reminds me of the one time I was hanging out. I was in my garage or my driveway doing something. And I don't know if I've told this story before. Guy was riding his bike, but was also running his dog. So he was riding his bike pretty fast, like down the street, running his dog in the middle of the street. And it was a big dog. I don't even know what kind of dog it was, but a big one.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, that dog decided right in front of the house that it needed to shit right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the dude on the bike almost wrecked because the dog just fucking stopped and took a shit right in front of the house.
That sounds like Jack's over there on Pleasant Grove.
Yeah, that was.
I'm like, we're gonna make it to the, and he.
And I went, I was like, wow. He almost just fucking bit it. Or the dog would have got yanked hard,
Little,
But he was like, whoa! I mean, his reaction was he was not expecting his dog to take a shit there.
Right there.
Yeah. And especially for because the dog
in the
was
street?
Yeah, the dog was running.
Oh.
Like at a full run pace, and he was biking hard.
Yeah.
And the dog just went, yeah. And with the leash and everything, it's not like he wasn't not on a leash. He was on a leash. So like with the leash, and the dude's like, whoa! I mean, he almost went down hard because the dog decided to shit right there.
God damn.
So it could be worse.
Could be. Could have almost lost a thing on his stuff.
Yeah. So last week we were talking about my garage door opener.
Yes. You had a potential solution.
Yeah, I left it with, I might be able to fix it, and here's what I found. Long story short, didn't fix it.
Not even close. Not even.
No, it stayed. It stayed doing the same thing. So I think there's something wrong with the logic board. Something happened in the logic board, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I can return this stuff. The belt and the sensor are going to go back.
Right.
And then I just did a bunch of research and found a good deal on an opener. Got it installed. It's much like yours, very similar unit. But man, I'm impressed. I really like it.
Yeah.
It's quiet as shit compared to the old one. But yeah, so that saga's over.
You did it.
Yeah, whatever. But it's like it's really interesting how the new ones, my old opener had like twisty adjusters on it for like the travel and for how much force up and down they had.
Right.
And so you would like close the door and then adjust the thing and then close the door again and see how far it went until you got the adjustment right with a little screw thing. And you would do that at the top as well.
Okay.
And then how much force that it does, so that if you put a 2x4 down and you close the door, if it hits the 2x4 at the bottom, it's supposed to bounce back up, right?
Okay.
That's sort of the standard.
Right.
So kind of the new ones everything's digital.
Right.
So it's like you put it in the programming mode and then hit the up or the down button until the door gets to where you want it to stop, and then you say there, and then you do the up or the down, whichever direction it is. And then that's its mode of travel. That's how you don't have to like get a screw.
There's no tension.
Yeah. And then you test and see if it stops on the 2x4. And if it doesn't stop on the 2x4, you got to do it again, which I had to do, which is no big deal. It only took a few minutes. But I just thought it was really interesting how that worked.
I was going to say, I think my last one didn't have the tensioner. It had like a limiter at the end of the track, and you just slid. And so when it hit the limit switch,
It knew when to stop.
Yeah, while the runner was going along, it would just
Here's the place.
right, and then it would go back. And then I think it had one here too, but I don't remember. I don't know how this one has at the end.
If this one is like mine, because they're the same, basically the same unit for the most part, is you put it in the program mode and then it flashes the up, and then you hit the up button until you get to the top of where you want the door to be.
Yes, that makes sense.
And then you hit the button, and it goes, that's the top, and then it highlights the bottom button, and you press that one until it gets to the bottom.
Yep. Okay, that makes sense.
And then you hit the button and say, that's the bottom, and then it knows. And then it just has to go through its force calculation or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I had to reprogram it for the force calculation because it did not stop and reverse on the 2x4.
Is that why you have a peg leg?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's a third leg. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Woody.
Yeah. Hey. So I'm in love with it. It's cool. It's so quiet. I don't even hear it in the house anymore. It's kind of amazing. But I bought a Chamberlain MyQ camera, battery backup, some shit. It's bells and whistles and stuff. You know what I was looking at,
and
though?
cheaper than mine.
Yeah. You know what I was looking for, though, or not looking for, looking at was, and you and I were talking about it, was the side garage door openers. Those are pretty cool. The ones that go on the side of the door that connect to the rod that goes across the top.
Right.
Those are pretty slick.
I didn't put, once I saw pricing. I didn't delve much into that rabbit hole at all. I just went, oh, wow, they do that now. Oh, shit, that price is okay.
I didn't look
moving on.
Yeah, I didn't look at the price, and I was like, oh, maybe the side one. And I saw one of the features is, so it has the openers on the side at the top where the spring roller thing is.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a box that gets installed also down on the bottom, on the rail of the door.
Okay.
So when the door goes down, it signals this box, and then the box locks the door down so it can't go up or down.
Oh, okay.
It prevents anything from opening it.
No, right.
Now, our openers will do that already. So I don't know if there's something different about those openers. But I was like, oh, that's pretty slick. I'm like, how much are those? And it was like $5.99 or $4.99 or something. I was like, that is way outside what I want to pay.
Right.
And then the other problem is I don't have power up there. I'd have to put power
Most
there.
Most people have power in the middle of the garage bay.
Yeah, that's where I have power too. So
all of a sudden now you're like, I'm gonna run an extension cord.
Yeah.
The garage. Like, no.
But what it made it a little easier to install is I didn't put the little sensors that cross over the door so that it'll bounce back if someone goes through the door.
Right.
I didn't install the new ones. I just used the ones that I already had.
That makes sense.
Because it's like, why?
Right.
It's just so much more work to rerun the wire and all that shit. I was like,
I don't think I trusted mine. I think I used the ones that came with here.
Did you?
Because mine were, well, I don't know if they would have been older than yours, but they snapped into the existing brackets.
Yeah.
So it was like, I used the cables, but I used the wire.
Yeah.
Kept the wire.
Oh, so does that mean you spliced them in?
They were still spliced them in.
Because
I left the wire, used the new hardware.
Well, what I mean by that is the sensors that came with the new opener, the wire is hard wired into the sensor, like you can't just unscrew it.
Was mine that way? I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing the last install.
Oh,
I think I used my last set of wire. Nope. Look, I'm wrong. You see I ran new wires because of that.
I see. Now, I mean,
corrected live on air. So there's yes. I think that was my intent, until I realized they were hardwired
Yeah.
into the lenses.
Yeah. So I mean, in theory, you could cut it and splice in new wire if you really wanted. If you didn't want to rerun the fucking wire,
Right. Butt connectors.
and I didn't want to do
No.
that. I mean,
So
I
you
have
just
the
use the old. I mean, it's
yeah. I
probably-
just use the old. They
tech
work.
is not.
It's the
different.
same thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing special about the new sensors. So I was like, I'll just if it doesn't work, I'll run them. But if it works, I don't need to. You know.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But when I put the last opener in, because that was a 15-year-old opener, I realized. When I put the last opener in, it got the new sensors. But this time I was like, those sensors are fine. And it works.
If it works, it works.
Yeah. So
15 years. That's a good run.
that's what I was telling my wife. I said, if we paid, because that was a cheaper opener, and especially 15 years ago, it would have been a cheaper opener. It probably wasn't more than $150 or something, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So $10 a year
Yeah.
for an opener, that's not.
No. You got your mileage.
Oh, absolutely.
You ever replaced your water heater?
Yes.
When was the last time you did that?
10, 12 years ago, somewhere in there.
Guess what?
Is it time to do it again?
It'll be. I'd never really paid attention to it.
Did yours break?
No. But on my list of like a takeaway that I had from the summer and like trying to the maintenance on things that you probably should be doing maintenance on,
Yeah.
but aren't. Mr.
Is your
Food.
hot water heater?
Is my hot water heater.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna double check the insulation around it, just get an eyeball on it. The anode that's in it. Fuck. Never really thought much about that one.
Yeah.
But also I replaced mine.
Yeah.
You
did your own, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I had to do the ballast or the expansion tank thing,
yeah.
like under the
Because
radar.
it's code now.
Right. But mine, I do not drain it. I've never drained it.
I haven't drained mine either.
But if you're
I have intended to, though.
right, that will get you the full longevity of it, because obviously the anode that's in it does the same thing as Dave would understand on like boats. It's a sacrificial reactional element to keep it from eating the water and all the shit that's in our water from eating the tank.
Yeah.
There's a sacrificial anode in it.
Yeah.
I have never, ever replaced that. Cheap part.
I didn't know you had to.
Yes. Well,
I mean, they do that shit on boats, too, though, you know?
right.
I don't even think I knew that the hot water heater had one of those in it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
and
really, a lot of this has started to like accelerate. Like, well, I need to pay attention to that. Is because in the last, well, really, it's been since the school year, but I've really been paying attention to it in the last month or so. The cycling of Piper's wake up and departure, Xander's wake up and departure, and Venus's wake up and departure. The toilet flush, shower, 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 shower. Next person gets up, toilet flush. That shower's still going. Toilet flush. Shower's off. 2, 3. Shower's on. Shower's on. Shower's on. Door opens. That person's done. Toilet flush. Shower's on. Shower's on. As someone that has lived in the country with probably a 40-gallon water heater,
yeah.
the having to meter and you need to take a quick shower because we don't have hot water for days. And to hear for the span of 40 plus minutes, 3 people take a shower, flush toilets, take a shower, flush. Mike, fuck, how old is my water heater? Because the lifespan, I can just hear it going down the drain.
Right.
Like, I'm going to have to start paying attention to that before it is a Thursday morning and someone says, there's no hot water. I'm like, it's going to happen. There's going to be a sad damn moment. So I'm like, water heater, man. Oh, shit. I've never drained it. I've never drained this one.
Yeah.
Never done
I
it.
haven't intended to do it to mine several times.
I take better care of the air compressor's tank
Draining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like using it, drain it, make sure there's no moisture condensation in there. Never done that to the water heater. It's just out of sight, out of mind. I'm an idiot. The anode, I know that the water heater, as someone that has lived in the country with a water pump well, like we had to burp and drain the water heater. It happened. It just, there was dirt in the water heater on occasion.
I was going to say the difference between being in the country and here in Roseville is the water here is pretty clean.
Yes.
You're going to get some stuff in the heater for sure, no matter what. But the water up there is well water, so there's all kinds of extra minerals and things and dirt and stuff in the water.
Yes.
So that's going to get trapped in your hot water heater it's going to be much harder on your hot water heater than your water here.
But there was also, like, I don't know to what end without seeing the anode.
Yeah.
Like, certainly there is probably less natural particulates down here in the city.
Yeah.
But treated chemicals would be something that's unique to here that we didn't have. So what does that translate into to the structural integrity? That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
The structural integrity of the tank of the water heater. Like up there, we struggled with the cycles of like a water heater that's outside and the cold temperatures of Mother Nature and the naturalness of the water and what was in it versus down here. Sure, it's more climate controlled, but I have no idea what the treatments are in the water and how that's reacting to the shit in the tank because I have never bothered.
Well, and the other interesting thing was when we had our original hot water heater had a blanket on it, right? And when they replaced it, I asked the guy, "Do I need to get a blanket?" And he goes, "No, you don't put blankets on them anymore." Okay, so it doesn't have a blanket on it.
Huh.
I just thought that was interesting. And I think it has something to do with maybe condensation or some kind of moisture thing and preventing moisture from saturating and causing corrosion. Somehow the blanket does that. And I don't know. I have no idea. But that's what he was saying. No, you don't need a blanket.
Really?
Yeah. And maybe it's just because the hot water heater we bought had its own insulation. I don't have any idea. But now, when you replaced yours, how did it fail originally?
I don't recall. It must have had a tank. I didn't take it apart. It was draining. Like it probably had
a leak.
A leak in the tank itself.
Yeah.
It gave up the ghost on the bottom side.
Yeah. Like that's what we had is I think we were getting ready to go to bed and I opened up the garage door and there was water running through the garage and I went, "Oh shit." And I pulled the car out and went over and there was water coming out. And I said to Shan, "Go take a shower right now because the hot water heater needs to be, I need to turn the water off into the hot water heater because it is broken."
Right.
So she went and got in the shower and used some hot water and then I turned it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then went and had it replaced from Home Depot.
All over the place.
Not sponsored.
Hashtag not a sponsor. Ulanzi.
Also not a sponsor.
Yeah, hashtag fuck you, JetBlue.
Also not a sponsor.
Also not a sponsor. Ulanzi. Not a sponsor.
So, yeah. And then I remember like propping up something so that water would, because it's on a pedestal with like drywall around it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it to like completely ruin all the drywall and shit.
Yeah.
So I like propped something up so water would drain over the drywall and onto the garage floor and then out.
Yes. Mine's on like an OSB box. And I'm like,
yeah,
if I don't get this fixed, and it's going to kill the OSB. It's killed wood. And then I have to rebuild that. I'm like, I'm just starting out as a homeowner. I don't understand how to build boxes. Yeah. But mine is at age.
Yeah.
And I presume probably when it went the first time during the remodel, it was at age as well. But now, I have never done any maintenance.
If you were going to replace it, would you put in a regular tank heater or would you get a tankless one?
We talked about that. in like just random conversation, and because we don't have, we would like to have tankless.
Right.
We would like instant tankless, but the cost, like it would be a project. It would be something that I couldn't do because we're running 220.
Oh, you have an electric heater?
No, we have gas, but there's no power to run enough power to run a really good tankless. I'm pretty sure they run on 220. I don't think it's 110. Is it 110? The high guys?
As far as I know, they're gas, and you just use a 120 outlet to ignite them or whatever. Like my hot water heater is a gas hot water heater, but it plugs in, so the element or the igniter is electric.
Oh, I don't have power.
You don't have power in here?
I don't think it plugs in. Shit. I don't know. Now I'm confused.
Well, I got lucky because we just happen to have power close enough to the hot water heater that it worked, but I didn't think about it when I bought it. It was one of those things where I went to Home Depot and I'm like, yeah, I think I want that one.
Yeah.
Not really realizing what I was buying. And then when I got it, the guy was installing it. He goes, you have a place to plug it in? I said, well, there is power here. Will it reach there?
Yeah, there's power.
And he's like,
that's right.
Oh, yeah, that's
there's
fine. That'll work.
There.
And I went, whew, because I didn't really think about it. And I think that outlet actually had added after the house was.
That's going to bug me. Why can't I picture where the outlet is for mine? But
well, not all of them are electric.
But
most of the time they have a pilot light, right? So you just have a little bit of gas and it's lit, and then it lights the burners.
When did you replace yours?
12 years ago.
Oh, okay. I mean, we almost did it at the same exact time.
Yeah.
I don't know why I wouldn't.
I think it just happened to be the unit
and now
that I
I'm
chose.
confused as to whether or not the last time I looked at tankless water heaters, if it was so far back. I was honestly under the impression that the high quality ones that were going to do the things that we wanted required 220. Like 110 wasn't going to be enough.
Wow, I would be surprised because you're still firing a burner though. It's running gas.
Maybe the ones I was looking at were not gas; they were an electric.
Because I think the biggest problem is whether or not your gas feed line is big enough to feed gas to the tankless one.
Well, to your question,
so I don't know.
We would prefer it because it would just be one, no tank.
Right.
2, like instant hot, and I wouldn't.
I think
be
they're more efficient.
Can you not like you're
right.
still taking a shower, kids? Like that's gonna run out. Like I keep meaning to pull the kids into the garage and be like,
here's how much water we have.
We're going to have.
Plus, there's this much sediment in the bottom, so subtract that.
Right. Have like a thing. Like here's Dad's introduction to home ownership thing. Does anyone know what this is? This is a water heater. As you can tell, since its top nor bottom is bookended by a black hole, it has a finite amount of water that it can hold. Specifically, probably about 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the length of time you are in the shower? I don't know. Xander's pretty fast. Piper and Venus are fast sometimes, but then also this is how I wake up and just against a hot shower.
I've done that,
which is fine.
Yeah,
but isolated, the length of times I take showers, I have zero fucks. But I start having concerns about the kid that comes in last, whether that's Xander or whether that's Piper
or Venus,
Venus is
or you
first out of the gate. I don't take a shower in the morning. I wait. I'm the last one here.
Yeah.
So even if I took a shower at 8:30, I know that the thing has had 30 minutes to
recharge,
fill, and burn up, and I get the hottest of hots.
Right.
And I'll drain the bitch if I wanted, but I don't. I'm like fast. But I keep meaning to like tell the kids, like specifically, really, it's Piper, because I don't want her to think, oh, when she moves out, goes out into the world, that when I take a shower, I can take a 30-minute shower, and someone's going to go, hey, some of us have to take a shower after you.
At the
and
hotel,
she'll be
you
like,
can.
Yeah, she'll be like, what do you mean? And she won't have any concept of...
There's a limited supply of hot water.
Right. This is a water heater. It heats water on the ready, and it keeps it to a temperature. And then as you take a shower and drain the hot water, it has to fill it and reheat it to temperature. When you drain it, it takes time.
Yeah.
Like, how long does it take to boil water on the teapot? Time. Now, you've got 40 gallons of it. How long does that take? Longer than the gap between your mom's shower and you, I assure you.
Yeah.
You know? So, I just haven't had a chance yet.
Now, one of the things I did when we had that hot water heater put in was I kind of brought the temperature up a little higher on it.
Did you?
Thinking in my mind that if we have hotter water in the tank, then and you take a shower and you're mixing cold in, right?
Right.
Then that's just more hot water. Right? Because you're using less hot water out of the tank because it's hotter and you're mixing in cold water.
I don't know to what. Yes, that makes sense.
So you're using less hot water to get to the temperature you really want in the shower.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That was the thought process there. Now, I could be fucking way wrong, and the other problem with that is that you're always heating that damn thing to the hot temperature. But my mind was like, well, we could probably, first of all, I bought a bigger tank than we had. And then also, I'm going to put the temp up a little bit higher on it. That way there's hotter water. And when you take a shower and you're mixing in to get to the temperature you want, you're not using as much hot water out of the tank because you're using more cold water to mix in.
Mike and Angie have a tankless, I think.
Do they?
I think so.
I'm fascinated by how they work.
If you are taking a shower,
yeah,
and someone flushes the toilet, do you get scalding?
Gosh, I don't remember.
If you take a hot shower and someone turns on the hot water to do dishes, do you get cold balls?
I haven't had that happen.
Really?
I mean, I take showers though in the morning. We're not. No one's.
But
normally,
no one, like, no one's had that.
It's just the two of us.
Oh, well, how about when the kids were in?
Well, I was the first one to take a shower to leave the house.
Would you ever fuck with your son by like turning on the hot water at the faucet while he was taking a shower?
No.
Ours does that. Like,
because
if
you know what would happen?
If I'm in the shower and Venus goes in to pee and flushes a toilet,
you'll get scalded.
Because
she's taking.
Or I have to like adjust. I have to go back down.
Yeah.
So that I don't bake the beans, kind of a thing.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But sometimes, I want to be honest, when the kids get here and they're older and they finally start listening to Dad's archive shit, some of you were taking showers that too long, and I would go into the kitchen and turn the hot water on and freeze your ass out.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, yeah, it's time.
Or just come out to the garage and turn the flow out of the hot water heater down.
It's cold out here. I ain't coming outside. But I'm gonna go to the sink, one of the sinks, and I'm gonna turn the hot water on, and you're gonna get the get the hint.
Yeah.
It's happened. Sorry. Not sorry. It was too long of a shower.
Well, what would happen was I would get the something might be wrong with the hot water heater, kind of shit. And I'm like, motherfucker, no.
No. You're in there for 35 minutes.
Get the fuck out of the hot
You only need
shower.
to jerk off one time.
Yeah.
Just one and get out.
Yeah. Are you trying to clog the pipes?
Yeah. What are you doing? You don't shit in the shower. Is it one jerk? Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You don't know. How many times do you need to shave your legs? One. You only got 2 legs. Let's get the fuck out.
Yeah. Now, you don't shave, right, normally. When was the last time you shaved your face? Or when you do, let me ask you this, because you've had a beard for as long as I can think of.
Yeah.
When you did shave, do you shave at the sink or do you shave in the shower?
When I go full shave, I was shaving in the sink.
Okay. I shave in the shower.
Yeah.
That's the only time I take more time in the shower.
Now, like if I'm trimming, like if I'm shaving here, and to here, it's in the shower. It's in the shower because if I'm doing a shave day, then I'm also shaving the head, and now
and the butt.
Oh man, you don't shave that. If you do that, you just gotta wax it because it's just a pain. Or my legs. On occasion, if I'm not taking a shower, it's been very rare where I've shaved in the sink. But on occasion, if I'm like cooking or something, and I don't have time to take a shower to clean up before, it's a nice dinner or something.
Yeah,
I'll shave in the sink.
Mm-hmm.
But 9.5 times out of 10, I'm doing bulk shaving in the shower.
Yeah. Man.
My daughter wouldn't mind as a gag if I at least came down to a goatee.
Mm-hmm.
Venus does not like it. Venus will. She
likes the hair on your face, huh?
She does. And she would. I would wager she actually would prefer. Because I don't have a very full beard. It's a very thin beard. I can accept this, like my baldness. She would prefer it of the little bit longer length, and to me, it starts to get like irritated.
Yeah.
Like when I can do this and I can pull a wad of hair into my, it's too long.
Yeah.
Because then I start to fidget with it, and it bugs the fuck out of me. I prefer mine somewhere around here. Maybe a little bit. I think it's like 12 millimeters, a 12 millimeter blade.
Specifically.
Yes. Because someone there was like a poll. I can't remember what it was. I think 5 millimeters, like the 12 o'clock shadow length is about 5 millimeters. And in like a survey, that's the precise length out of all lengths that women actually find. It's like the 12 o'clock shadow is about 5 millimeters.
Huh.
That's too short for my wife. Given how thin my beard is, it looks atrocious at like that stage between a man turning into a werewolf. It's that like, what's happening here? This is terrible. Like, what are you doing here? That's too short on me. For the cheeks. Anyway, 12. 12 was what I like. Venus probably likes 15 to 16, like a bushier, longer.
My wife just hates
facial
hair on my face, and I don't like shaving, so I don't shave very often.
Yeah.
And then probably once every 2 or 3 weeks I'll shave it.
Are you
a
blade
off.
Or a...
I'll blade it off.
A machine.
Yeah, I'll blade it off in the shower.
Yeah.
But I don't like to shave. I just dislike.
Tedious?
Yeah, and I just don't care how my face feels after I'm done.
Really?
Yeah, I like a little bit of the 5 o'clock shadow action, and the hair on my face, I have no, like you say, you don't have a full beard. I've got probably a third of what you have.
No.
And so I just like a little bit of texture there.
Yeah.
And I just prefer that.
Yeah.
So I usually let it grow. Now, this last time, I literally just got my shaver and just kind of combed over the whole beard and just kind of cut it all down.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't do very well.
Yeah.
Because I keep finding like, oh, that's a little
long.
long right there. I missed that spot. So I think I might have to get like a shaving kit or something, like electric shaver that has a guard on it that I can just clean it up.
Yeah.
Maybe a one I can use in the shower. That would be great.
I got Xander because he has like the early facial hair like I had, where it's like 3 or 4 that are on 11 mode as far as growing, but like 98% of the rest of his face is nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, so, and it's a electric razor. I'm like, here's where you start. You get here, but you want to pay attention to it, and if you flip to the other side, it's like an edger, so you can come up and get your sideburns and whatnot. I'm like, if you have any questions, let me know, but I'm going to let you run with it. And it was
keep it off your balls, son.
Yeah, he got he got his own Manscaped thing in case he wanted to do that one. Which I don't think he's touched yet. But he got like a good month with the electric razor, and he wasn't handling it, and so I had to like, okay, you really gotta chase that fucker around. Like you gotta like just look at yourself in the mirror and go over each space. Like sometimes it's not gonna fit in the foils if it's been a bit, so you gotta get it or flip it around, take the edger, and just take off the long boys, and then take some time. You'll get it.
I think I had a Remington micro screen one.
Really?
Yeah, the one. It's got like the two. I want to say I had one of those like back in high school.
I have a really nice. It's I don't know the name of it. For the top of my head, which I tend to use more in the summer than the winter. I just don't keep as much tabs on my head in the winter as I do in the summer. But it's like a
because it holds your beanie on.
Yeah. Yes. Fuck, dude.
Like Velcro.
It's very
beanie
much
Velcro.
Very struggles in the winter without the what did I went and moved. I helped move Tracy. That morning I'd shaved my head.
Oh.
It was cold. I took a beanie over there and it's like it starts
just wants to
I
come
bend
off.
over and the fucker starts to slide out. God damn it. I should have waited
one day.
Yeah. And then it's like
yeah, and then they just stick.
Yeah, it's kink. But it's the electric. But if I don't keep on top of it, it pulls my neck hair.
Oh.
And then it's like, well, it becomes an irritant. So if I don't keep on top, if I keep on top of it, it's amazing because it's like super fast and I can do it anywhere. If I miss 3 or 4 days, my neck hair becomes like
tangled or something.
Yeah, it tugs at the, and then I get like a rash at my neck, and then it's like fucking. I should have just bicked it. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, maybe just do it on the neck, and then the whatever. If it gets long,
oh yeah,
bick the neck and do the rest with the electric thingamajig.
But it's handy. It's got like 5 or 6 fucking rotating heads on it, and it's just like it's like a little head massage.
Is that it's got the little circle? Ones?
Yeah.
Who makes it? What is it?
There's a whole bunch of knockoffs.
Oh.
It's like a Chinese, but it's kind of like razors. There's like a 4-1, a 5-1. Someone's got like a 6-headed like octopus that you're like 5 isn't.
You need like the kind that like just sticks to your head and then just crawls around and shaves for you.
That would be
right, like a sort of like a mower, but for your head.
Yeah, just like
and it just
little cap that it has a little.
You can go do something else like work maybe. Yeah, it'll just shave while you're working.
Okay, so anyway, on that, what is going on? No, it's just my head machine.
Yeah.
It's almost done with its route. It's like a Roomba, but for my head.
Yeah. Yeah. It flies over and sticks to my dome and starts cutting, and then it flies back and it charges.
It's all good.
And dumps the excess hair.
We're at time.
On that note. All right.
Because I could keep making bald jokes.
I meant to talk about something, and I realized that I just blew it and forgot.
What?
Was part of the garage door opener discussion was the smart home, sort of like smart home battle shit. And we can talk about it later.
Okay.
But I bought a thing to combat that, but we can talk about it next time. Because it's interesting.
Yes. And we can, because that'll give me a little bit more time to primer. Because I know when it comes to the MyQ API, there is shenanigans.
Yes.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
And that's something that, yes. We'll catch it next week, though.
Yeah.
Because we could be here for 20 minutes talking about nerd.
Oh, absolutely. That's a longer discussion than we have time for right now.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Anyway, return the cart.
Wash your hands.
Wash your ass.
Make the call if you need it.
Stay up to date on your shots. Did you get yours yet?
Check your oil, Tony. No, I have not, sir.
God damn it. Register to vote.
Pick up a broom.
Did you say make the call?
I did.
Do the kindness.
That's it.
We'll catch you next week.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Oh, my God, the cameras.
I know, they just stayed on. It's
It
like
was the cable.
no drama.
No drama.
Yeah. Peace out.